Hello everyone and welcome to another educational video for the ERN CRANIO. I'm Marije van Dalen and I'm a PhD student and psychologist at the Erasmus MC, Sophia Children's Hospital in the Netherlands. Today I will be talking to you about how you can deal with unwanted comments and questions. When you have a medical condition, especially a visible medical condition, you might experience some difficult social situations. For instance, people might stare at you or they make unwanted comments and questions and ask you about your condition. In this video, I will be giving you some tips and tricks about how you can best deal with these difficult social situations. Now before we start, I would like to say some things. This video will give you several tips and tricks and several techniques about how you can deal with difficult social situations. You might not like every technique, but that's personal. Choose the one that fits you best and take some time to practice and get familiar with this technique. And secondly, practice makes perfect. Remember that these techniques take some time to get accustomed to. So practice them with people you know, and in time you'll see that it will get easier to use these techniques. And finally, when you feel upset about someone staring at you or making remarks, it might be helpful to talk to people whom you know. Talk to someone you trust, your siblings, your friends, your parents, your partner, or anyone else, because talking to them will probably make you feel better. Okay, now let's get started with technique number 1. Technique number 1 is called walk away. If someone makes a rude comment, it might not always be worth your while. So instead of doing something about it, saying something to them, just walk away. Decide that this situation is not worth your time and this person is totally not worth your time. Just walk away, get out of the situation. Staying in the situation can make it worse. For instance, you might get angry at this person and this could create some conflict. So in a situation like this, you can always choose to walk away. Okay, and then technique number 2. This technique is called use humor. When someone stares at you or makes a remark, you can always make a joke about it and use humor. By doing this, you will remain confident and people will see that you are confident with who you are and with your condition or appearance. So for instance, when someone stares at you, you could say things like, "Oh, you should see what I look like on a bad day." Or you could say, "Oh, you must be staring at my beautiful hairdo." Use your humor and decide on anything that fits well with you. Okay, technique number 3. This technique is called make someone aware of his actions. When someone stares at you, they may often not be aware that they're really staring at you. And you can make this person aware by looking back at them. Try to make eye contact for a few seconds and this person will often look away and realize that he was staring at you and that this was an impolite thing to do. Another option when someone makes a comment is to directly make this person aware of their actions. When someone makes a rude comment, you can tell them, "You know, I prefer if you just ask about my condition instead of making a rude comment like that." This way, you've set your boundaries clear, you appear confident, and this person is made aware of his actions and that these actions are very impolite and that they could potentially affect you. Technique number 4. In technique number 4, you can put things into perspective. When someone stares at you or makes a rude comment, you can help yourself by putting things into perspective. For instance, you could say to yourself, "You know, I am more than my appearance. My appearance does not define who I am. I am also very smart, very witty, or anything else that you're very good at." This way, you make yourself realize that people are just staring at the outside at your appearance, but you're very much more. You can also think, "They have probably not seen someone with my condition before." By putting things into perspective, you will be less affected by the actions of other people. Technique number 5. How do you deal with unwanted questions? When someone is not just being rude to you and is asking a genuine question, you might consider answering this person. Especially if it's someone you know, you might want to explain some things about your condition so that it's out of the clear. When someone asks you a question, there are several things to keep in mind. Firstly, you don't have to explain everything to everyone. Especially when it's someone you don't know who's asking a question, you might not want to explain everything about yourself to this person because you might not ever see this person again. So when someone asks you why you have a scar on your lip, you can say, "Oh, I was just born with this," or "I had a cleft lip when I was born." And then you can say, "Oh, shall we go and play football?" So that way you directly change the subject and the person will know something, but he will also probably get the hint that you're not up for talking about it anymore. You can also say, if you don't want to talk about your condition in any way, you can say, "Oh, it's a very long story, but I will tell you about it some other time." Hey, have you seen yesterday's basketball match? That way you will acknowledge to the person, okay, I will tell you about it when I feel comfortable telling about it, but for now let's change the subject and move on to something else. If you do want to explain something to people, it's very good to have an explanation prepared. Think about what you can say to whom, because you will probably not want to tell everyone all the details. So think about someone who is slightly familiar with you. What can you tell them about your condition? And for someone that is very familiar with you, for instance a friend, you can also prepare yourself and think, okay, how can I best explain my condition to someone else? And how can I use this explanation in a way that makes me feel comfortable and will also make the other person feel more comfortable? You can also use this story that you've prepared to tell people who are not directly asking about your condition. So for instance, let's say you're in a conversation with someone and you see this person staring at your face or just looking at your face wondering. This person might not be confident enough to ask you what a scar is or why your appearance is altered. But you can always use the story to break the ice and tell the person about it. So for instance, when you see someone looking at your scar, you can say, oh, I was born with a cleft lip. The doctors fixed it when I was young, but it doesn't really bother me now. This way you have sort of cleared the air and the other person will know what it is and your conversation will move smoother. Another advantage of this is that you're the first person to tell the story. You probably won't be surprised by anyone asking any questions and you're in control of the situation. So if you feel unsure about when people will ask questions or what kind of questions they will ask, you can always have your prepared story, tell it to them, and other people will know what's going on. Okay, these were all 5 techniques for this video. Remember that learning a new skill takes time. Use these techniques to your advantage, choose one that fits you best or choose several and practice these techniques. Over time you will know that you get more acquainted with the techniques and the social situations will hopefully go easier. Well, good luck practicing and see you again in another video. Bye!